Thank you for taking the time to view our debate video. We're a communication class from Illinois State University doing a public debate through an online format. Today's topic is technology while driving. My name is Elly and I'll be today's moderator. First we have Laurel and Carli representing the affirmative side. Then we have Elly and Neco representing the negative argument. Laurel will first be taking us through the stock issues that represent this topic. Then Elly will take us through the case attacks. Carli will then take us through restating the stock issues as well as defending the case. Lastly, Neco will be taking us through the counterplan. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy this debate.
Our resolution is that the national federal government should handle legislation in vehicles and not state government. Automobile accidents are the leading cause of death in North America, according to the New England Journal of Medicine. Driver error contributes to 90% of these events. The risk of collision when using cellular telephone devices is 4 times higher than the risk when one is not being used. Motor vehicle collisions are a leading cause of death in North America. They are the single most frequent cause of death among children and young adults and account for 1 fatality every 10 minutes. During an average year, 1 in 50 people will be involved in a motor vehicle collision. 1% of them will die, 10% will be hospitalized, and 25% will be temporarily disabled. Motor vehicle collisions often injure persons who are otherwise in good health. Error on the part of drivers contributes to over 90% of these events. Cellular phones can be used for placing and receiving telephone calls while in a motor vehicle. North American sales are enormous. For example, in 1995, the number of new subscribers in the United States of cellular phone devices exceeded the birth rate. Cellular telephones contribute to collisions by distracting drivers, and in some countries have laws against using a cellular telephone while driving. Research with simulators suggests that the use of telephones can impair crucial aspects of driving performance. States don't have the same restrictions, which involves varied safety procedures. Over 36 states have crash data, while not all 36 states have legislation, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. It is important to remember that some states, such as Florida, Hawaii, North Dakota, and Ohio, have no legislation restricting technology in vehicles. That is an unprecedented 22% of the nation. The restrictions are extremely varied to include limitation on bus drivers, texting, and enforcement. These bans are not unified and they compromise the safety of millions of people. Another piece of evidence that the national government can handle the issue of technology in cars is the key to safe driving in-car detection software. This pre-installed technology would detect a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. This would keep unsafe drivers off the road. This is evidence that technology in vehicles should be a national government issue. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety stated 64% of people were in favor of this technology in vehicles. According to the popular in-car security system OnStar, technology in cars is a good thing. OnStar should be mandatory in all new cars bought in the United States. The technology can be regulated in the United States by the national government. OnStar offers hands-free calling, GPS, and vehicle diagnosis. The existing laws against certain technology in cars are failing now. There are too many different laws in each state, which deter progress in this matter. In Alabama, there is no phone restriction, while in most states it bans all drivers younger than 18 to a cellular device while driving. The United States should have a visible standard of technology in vehicles. This issue should not be left up to the state government. Senate should appoint representatives to a committee to handle the current issue of technology in vehicles. The national government has already taken the first steps in making technology in cars a national issue and not a state issue.
Can you explain again how OnStar is a life-saving device?
As stated earlier, according to the popular in-car security system OnStar, technology in cars is a good thing. OnStar should be mandatory on all cars bought in the United States. This technology can be regulated in the United States by the national government. OnStar offers hands-free calling, GPS, and vehicle diagnosis if you are ever stranded in your vehicle.
Okay. Can you also explain again what the key to safe driving device is?
The key to safe driving device is an in-car software. This pre-installed technology would be installed in all new cars. This would detect a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher and would shut down the car. This would keep unsafe drivers off the road. This is evidence that technology in vehicles should be a national government issue.
According to Weinstein, 2002, the effect of cell phones while driving in accidents has been exaggerated. Across the United States and around the world, politicians have been jumping on anti-cell phone bandwagons. The predominant approach is to ban most handheld cell phone use, despite laws often already on the books banning any form of distracted driving. The oft-repeated "driving with a cell phone equals drunk driving" comment is based on a small 1997 Canadian study that didn't take other driving distractions into account. A much more comprehensive 2001 University of North Carolina study found that cell phone use was responsible for only 1.5% of distracted driving accidents, which is completely contrary to popular belief. Much larger risks were outside events, other occupants in the vehicle, and drivers adjusting radio and CD players. He also pointed out that the range of uncertainty in the data is very wide, and that people also associate positive values with use of their cell phones while driving. He urged against jumping into cell phone bans without careful consideration of the entire picture. Merely talking on a cell phone doesn't necessarily mean the phone contributed to an accident. Honest statistics imply that cell phone use in vehicles accounts for only a very small percentage of those accidents, and that most drivers use handheld cell phones safely while driving. Given what we know now, our efforts shouldn't be toward banning particular activities, be they cell phone use, eating, adjusting the radio, coping with kids in the back seat, or other common behaviors. Rather, we should be enforcing laws against the real problem, distracted driving in general. Valdez-Dapina, 2010, believes that cell phone driving bans don't work. Laws that ban drivers from talking on the handheld cell phone seem to have no effect on crash rates, according to a study by the Highway Loss Data Institute. They compared collisions of 100 insured vehicles per year in 4 different jurisdictions before and after bans on handheld cell phones took effect. The study was done in New York, Washington, D.C., Connecticut, and California. Monthly fluctuations in crash rates didn't change after bans were enacted, and crash rates compared to nearby places without handheld cell phone bans didn't change. The Institute spokesperson suggested that laws attacking particular types of distraction may be ineffective because there are simply too many distractions available to drivers for laws dealing with just one to have much impact. According to Neco 6, a national cell phone ban is unnecessary. Careless driving laws are sufficient. California Senator Joe Smith recently authored a bill banning the use of cell phones while driving a car. When it passed, the bill was based on the idea that the government has the responsibility to manage the most minute aspects of its constituents' lives in order to protect them. Although talking on a cell phone is distracting, so is drinking a soda, listening to loud music, or trying to keep kids quiet in the back seat. This law has not solved the problem. Laws already in place at the state level make it illegal not to pay attention to the road or drive in an unsafe manner. Emmerich 2010 states that distracted driving is a personal responsibility, not a federal issue. The federal and state governments are doing what they can and trying to minimize the danger by banning driving and cell phone use, but it all starts with individual responsibility. Hands-free cell phone devices are becoming just as important as seatbelts and airbags. Bluetooth car kits, for example, provide a safe and convenient solution to keeping your eyes on the road while talking on your phone. The potential for distraction is greatly minimized with these cellular phone designs. A study at University of Illinois suggests cell phone bans while driving have more impact in dense urban areas. A new study analyzing the impact of handheld cell phone legislation on driving safely concludes that usage ban laws had more of an impact in densely populated urban areas with higher numbers of licensed drivers than in rural areas, according to a University of Illinois researcher. That doesn't mean they have no impact in rural areas. It just means that such legislation is less likely to have an impact on driver accident rates. This suggests that federal ban on cell phone usage in vehicles would be senseless. It should be a city or state manager.
Can you explain why laws against particular types of distraction are ineffective?
These laws are ineffective because there are simply too many distractions available to drivers for laws dealing with just one to have much impact at all.
Please explain again what the University of North Carolina study showed regarding driving accidents.
The University of North Carolina study found that cell phone use was responsible for only 1.5% of distracted driving accidents, which is a very small amount.
Can you clarify again why cell phone bans have more impact in dense areas than rural areas?
What this suggests is if you have a congestion of cars and you're distracted, you're more likely to hit someone. If you have a lower congestion of cars, you're still distracted, but you're less likely to hit anyone because there's less people to hit. It's simple probability.